Good morning, kids, and welcome back to another episode of Fox Flicks on Dead Meat. Now, before we actually get into today's episode, I need to give you all a warning, because even the video itself gave a warning. This movie that they're going to cover is going to have depictions of self-harm, depression, and all the things like that. So, take this chance right now if you think you are too weak of a heart to watch this, and go watch something else. Go watch the Super Gaming Bros or something. I don't know, GT Live. But all in all, folks, all I can say, hey, is just be careful if you watch this. Now, for those of you that don't care and just want to get on with the video, alright, let's get on with the video. Welcome to the kill count of 2022's Barbarian.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Barbarian, released in 2022. Barbarian follows Tess, a young woman who finds a guy already staying at the Airbnb she's booked. And that's pretty much all I want to say about the plot. I know I say this for a lot of movies, but Barbarian is one of those that you should watch without any prior knowledge. It has a unique structure that's unpredictable for first-time viewers, and the less you know about it, the better. Seriously, go watch it. It's on Hulu. I guarantee you won't see what's coming.
Really?
That unpredictability is thanks to writer-director Zach Kreger, who joins a growing list of comedians-turned-horror movie makers. Kreger is one of the 3 founding members of the comedy group The Whitest Kids You Know, alongside Sam Brown and the late Trevor Moore. Rest in peace. Kreger wrote Barbarian without an outline, reasoning that in order to surprise the audience, he had to surprise himself. The result is a film that takes a couple of risky, hard turns, but always manages to find its way home in the end. Barbarian is equal parts hilarious and suspenseful. It's also a thrilling crowd-pleaser with a ton to say about gender dynamics. I love it when a movie can pull that kind of thing off. It explores a whole spectrum of sexism in various forms and degrees that women have to put up with. And that theme is worked in so intelligently, informing the way these characters behave and interact. For bonus points, it takes place in Detroit, which is always going to get me extra interested. How many guests will get checked out of this scare B?
I think every time James would say a movie takes place in Detroit, he would always say, like, let's go blue or something. I don't know. Well, it's been a while.
B, let's find out and get to the kilograms. Sorry, let's find out and get to the Kobasa. What the? Why can't I say let's find out and get to the Kilimanjaro?
Okay, now I think I know what's going on. We're gonna take a cut. Well back. Like, yeah, it was an ad for something called Centibod. Think of it pretty much like cologne.
Sorry about that. How many guests will get checked out of this scare B&B? Let's find out and get to the kills.
There we go.
The movie begins on a dark and stormy night with lightning and friggin' howls. Damn, it's loud and chanty out here. Can we get into that car, please? Thank you. Much better.
Silence.
Tess Marshall just got to her Airbnb on Barbary Street in Detroit the night before a job interview. Only problem is she's locked out. Oh, wait, no, there's another problem. The lights are on and somebody's home. His name is Keith, and he says he's booked the same house on a different app. With nowhere else to go, Tess steps out of the storm and into a tunnel car.
Tunnel
car? Looks like he's been sleeping.
Sorry.
He's more packed for hygiene than slaughter. Tess can't help but be wary of her present company. Fair enough, since Keith kind of steps in it at first.
Would you mind pulling up your reservation confirmation just so I can see it?
Yeah,
sure. Some kind of weirdo who's broken in here to sleep?
I mean, yes, literally exactly that. Keith is played by Bill Skarsgård, last seen on the kill count eating kids' meals.
Oh my god, no wonder he looked familiar. It's, Bill!
It chapters 1 and 2. Writer-director Zach Kreger.
You know what I'm going to do. Bill.
Skarsgård's
I have to.
unique appearance to influence the audience's opinion of Keith.
He's attractive and repulsive simultaneously.
Meanwhile, Tess is played by English actress Georgina Campbell, who starred in Bird Box Barcelona earlier this year. Did anyone check that thing out? Because y'all wouldn't shut the fuck up about that first one.
I know you haven't heard of it until now.
Hotel rooms are scarce, so Keith offers to let Tess spend the night. To put her more at ease, he offers the bedroom, which she can lock. This gentleman won't let a, quote, young lady sleep on the couch.
Blame it on my upbringing, but it's not up for discussion.
Keith's urbane tendencies also leads him to brewing that young lady some tea, but she's seen Get Out and opts not to drink the hot brown garbage water. Just like with Fresh from the same year, the horror in Barbarian is rooted in the uncertainty faced by women around male strangers. Kreger was inspired after reading the self-help book, The Gift of Fear. It details subtle things women should look out for, like men touching their property without permission.
It was really eye-opening for me because I realized that as a man, I don't have to think about this ever.
He set out to write a scenario with as many red flags as possible, giving us an opening sequence that's wonderfully suspenseful. Tess never knows whether or not to trust Keith, since the character's behavior perfectly toes the line between awkward and threatening.
I got it.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
While Tess is doing laundry, Keith offers
Just a
up some
good
wine,
guy.
but makes a point of opening it in front of her.
But I didn't want to open it before you got out of the shower because
Well,
I noticed
offering
you
it.
didn't drink your tea. And I totally get that, by the way. I mean, you don't know me, and this is a fucking really weird situation.
I think Keith's a great character, who's probably like a lot of awkward guys trying to navigate modern gender dynamics. Sometimes he tries so hard to not make Tess uncomfortable, it ends up coming off as weird. Tess is wary about the whole situation, and smartly takes as many precautions as possible, like locking every door behind her and making sure this guy is who he says he is. She starts to
Wait,
open
what
up
did
when
you get
Keith
his stuff?
recognizes the documentary filmmaker she's interviewing with tomorrow.
She made a movie about jazz last year called Blue Easy.
Oh, I saw that.
Turns out the two have common ground, since Keith's the co-founder of a local artists collective looking for new parts of the city to work out of.
Oh,
Maybe
you know what?
these
That's
two will
actually
be a
kinda
match on
nice.
Pairing day. With the ice broken, they talk long after the laundry cycle ends. Tess lets her guard down enough to wind herself up. Cabernet party on! They make sure to
Woo!
talk about the movie's themes.
The world's different for you. Guys get to blast their way through life making messes. Girls have to be careful.
And make cheeky references to a certain
some.
evil clown.
Do I look like some kind of monster?
Amidst all the talking, they get a little flirty, and even end up fooling around in the sheets. Don't be crass. I meant Keith shows her how to tie a duvet, and/or make a scary ghost costume. Ooh! It's a fun night, and while Keith hangs around a bit too long at the end, maybe to see if anything might happen next, he gracefully leaves the room when the opportunity
I'll take my
does
leave.
arise.
Okay, well, there's a couch that needs to be...
The first 20 minutes of Barbarian are just these two characters meeting and feeling each other out. And it's absolutely
That's actually
awesome,
not too
thanks to
bad.
Campbell and Skarsgård, and Kreger's writing of realistic social situations. Keith disappears the next morning, perhaps to return to Hemlock Grove, but he makes sure to leave a note behind to confirm their chemistry. Oh, look at that smile. She's smitten, and that's why
good
you
night.
always leave a note. Tess leaves for her interview and gets her first good look at the surrounding neighborhood. It's not good. While Barbarian takes place in the Detroit neighborhood of Brightmoor, this house and the block it resides on was constructed in Sofia, Bulgaria, where most of the movie was filmed. They built 13 house facades in a field that was mostly empty, minus a laboratory that you can actually see in between the houses across the street. I do take a little bit of issue with how the movie is set in Detroit, but mostly filmed overseas. But to be fair, they do use B-roll filmed in Brightmoor itself, so there is some truth to their depiction. This driving footage was captured
Oh my god, that boat looks so decrepit.
2 days.
I'm
they
sorry, I
shot
just
in
had to
Detroit,
say
along with
that.
the stuff downtown where Tess goes for her job interview. She crushes the interview, though her rental house location raises a red flag.
No, you shouldn't be there.
Oop, hold on folks, we'll be right back. And we're back.
As if to underline the warning, when she gets back, a homeless man charges at her, yelling for her to go on and get.
Come out that house!
Go away!
Come out that house!
The cops aren't available to help, which makes Tess so mad she could. Shit! Damn it, Keith.
Oh, damn it, Keith, how
Bad
could
roommate
you?
move. Tess finds some TP in the creepy-ass Michigan basement, but gets locked down
good.
there by a mischievous door that closes on its own. And she can't call for help either. Aw, Tess, why'd you leave your phone up on the table?
You wanted to...
Seemingly trapped, she sees something.
What was
behind
that?
That toy duck from Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a rope in the wall, and some tug-of-war reveals a secret passageway. Want to check out that void, Tess?
Nope.
That joke was a little bit stepped on by Jordan Peele's movie that came out earlier the same year. Kreger actually asked Peele if he would have a similar joke in his movie, but Peele assured him that it would all be okay.
And then when I watched Nope, there is a very strong Nope moment. And I was like, well, God damn it, dude. But I like our moments. I wouldn't have taken it out anyway, so it's all good.
After a while, Tess gets bored enough to Brendan Fraser mummy some light down the passage with a mirror. Behind another door, she discovers a nightmare of a spooky spare bedroom.
No,
You don't
no,
wanna see
no,
a camera
no,
pointed
no.
at a bed like that. And is that a poop bucket? Oh man. Eventually, Keith returns and lets Tess out of the basement. She wants to leave, but while Keith's concerned for her, he won't take her worries at face value. I think this stems from his chivalrous attitude towards women. He even physically prevents her from leaving as he tries to calm her down. It's not a
I would
malicious
just let her leave.
sexism. Like, he's a nice guy and means well, but he's got an old-fashioned sense of thinking he knows what's best for her.
You really didn't have to do that.
Not even up for discussion.
He explains his point of view, which is valid until he gets a bit condescending.
I didn't see it, okay? And I can't just be running off in a panic because there's a room downstairs with a bed and a bucket.
His need to
If I was him, I would just be like, what? Hold on. Let me take a look. Show me. And walk down, see the door in the wall, be like, yeah, we need to be getting the fuck out of here right now. No, that's all I do. I'm not going down that damn hall. I'm like, nope, and just book.
To see it for himself, rather than take her word for it, leads him into the basement. Tess waits for him to come back, but he never does. When she goes to check on him, propping the basement door open this time, she discovers there's an even deeper and darker basement. Ha! Fucking House of Leaves, y'all! Tess is so ready to go home at this point, but she hears him screaming for help from below. Against her better judgment, she goes down to look for him, discovering a DIY dog pound in the process. Fantastic panic acting from Georgina Campbell here.
I would be on the verge of shitting my pants.
Keith crawling like a creeper. He tells her someone else is in the basement. I'm not going back. And that someone else bashes Keith's head to bits against the wall.
Keith!
Should have kept your Skarsgård up, dude. His killer is a giant naked lady, and after killing him, she screams in Tess's face. As much as I love Bill Skarsgård as Keith, his death is worth it to have this awesome fake out. He was all over the trailers, so it's a genuine shock when this busty beast comes in 42 minutes in. It's a death so shocking that the movie gets knocked into a new protagonist. Ricky Tikki Tavi plays us into sunny Los Angeles, where actor AJ Gilbride is cruising down the Pacific Coast Highway. AJ is played by Justin Long, whose horror credits include Drag Me to Hell, Tusk, and Jeepers Creepers. AJ hops on a conference call with a couple of producers.
Damn, this guy's been a lot of classics.
Real-life wife, Kate Bosworth. AJ's TV pilot has just been picked up, but his joyride's about to end courtesy of an accusation from his co-star.
Apparently, Megan Maddox has contacted the network through her lawyer, and she's made a very serious accusation against you. She's saying that you raped her.
AJ swears it isn't true, but things fall apart for him quickly anyway. The trades publish a story so scathing, even his financial manager drops him. AJ wants to countersue for defamation, but that'll cost some cash. Thankfully, he owns a couple of houses in Detroit. Oh, that's how he's connected. Okay. He books a flight to DT Dub so he can start selling the properties, which of course includes the rental that was double booked by Keith and Tess. Turns out that wasn't nefarious or anything. It was just incompetent management. AJ's not happy when he finds their stuff still there. It's enough for a
great.
What
The fuck? The fuck, dude?
AJ starts to show his ass when he answers a call from his friend with a gay slur. He goes out for drinks with that friend, played by director Zach Kreger in a cameo, and gets tipsy enough to tip his hand and confirm for all of us that he's a guilty sleazebag.
We fucked. We did fuck, okay?
Right.
She just took some convincing is all.
It's not left ambiguous either, despite
it is.
his own feelings towards the situation.
Did she say no?
I mean,
like, no, stop?
At first, but like, I wasn't like, come here, bitch, I'm gonna rape you.
He wakes up the next morning with a Me Too migraine, which he takes out on Tessa's personal belongings. He hears a bump in the basement, so he arms himself with a flashlight and a paring knife.
All right, bitch. Get ready to get fucked.
Downstairs, he discovers the secret passage and hidden room, but AJ's chief concern is what it might mean for his wallet.
Can underground rooms be listed as square footage?
It's a hilarious contrast to Tess's reaction, and reinforces what she said earlier about men living...
So, yeah, he's like... She was like, no, I'm getting the fuck out of it. He's like, can I make money off of this?
Lives of innate confidence.
The world's different for you. Guys get to blast that way through life, making messes. Girls have to be careful.
I mean, the dude's literally walking backwards into a dark space that Tess was cautious to enter. He doesn't even get goosebumps when he finds out his basement has a basement.
Oh, that's what all the tape measures on your set is. Oh, okay.
Dungeon is just more square footage he can add.
Yo! Anyone here?
Alvin? Simon? Theodore? After measuring around the human-sized
Wait, he played Dave?
AJ discovers a room with diaper decor and a low-fi nursing video. The voice on the video is Sarah Paxton, Zach Kreger's wife and star of Last House on the Left and Return to Halloween Town. Those are two very different movies. We also briefly heard Paxton as Megan, the co-star AJ raped when he left her an ill-advised drunken voice message earlier.
Hi, this is Megan. Please leave a message.
All of a sudden, something starts eating up his tape measure like it were fruit by the foot. It makes everything wide-angled, including this GoPro-looking first-person shot, and AJ ends up fleeing down the corridor from a ferocious feral female. She chases him until he trips and falls into an underground prison, where his new cellmate asks him to mind the noise, please. One of Barbarian's biggest strengths is its cinematography by Zach Cooperstein. He and Kreger filmed the movie's very different locations, using very different styles. Upstairs, they were inspired by David Fincher's slow-paced intensity in Seven and Mindhunter, with subtle camera movements that are motivated by what the characters are doing.
You're not necessarily
aware of the camera, right? Conversely, Downstairs sees a much more active style, inspired by Sam Raimi's work in The Evil Dead and Drag Me to Hell.
Oh,
Camera
who doesn't
movements are
love
wild
Evil
and
Dead?
crazy, with the shots often canted or unnaturally wide. It's an excellent way for the style to match the substance of the script, intentionally distorting the audience with surprises. True to that point, after Tessa's shush, the movie smash cuts into a flashback, throwing us
What
for a
the?
loop a second time. This is the early 80s, when Brightmoor was more bright, still in its
Shit.
Stepford prime. The future rental house's original owner, Frank, is going shopping for a home birth.
You've got a midwife, right? She should have given you a list.
It's just me.
Sounds like he's trying to create his
Ooh.
own demon fleet on Barbary Street. Frank is played by Richard
I
Gray,
think I get it.
4-time kill count vet and 1-time Night King. In the parking lot, he goes housewife hunting, stalking one woman all the way home with a match cut. Disguised as a maintenance worker, don't want to know where he got that Carlos jumpsuit, he casually gains access to her home.
DWP, man. Sorry to bother.
No bother.
Fucking DWP. The ruse allows him to leave one of her windows unlocked for future evil doings. He returns home where he tends to some commotion in the basement.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sure that's just the house settling. Obviously, Detroit is a big part of this movie, and since I grew up
Oh,
next to the
shit.
city, I have a certain defensiveness about it. Barbarian joins It Follows and Don't Breathe as great horror movies that take place in or around the
Fucking
city.
terrifying
Yet all
horror
three
movies?
rely on D-Town's decrepit blocks and danger to tell
Okay,
their story.
let me correct that. Don't Breathe is fucking terrifying. It Follows... It's creepy as hell, but it's not terrifying. I mean, don't get me wrong. That scene where the big guy is just walking up into the doorway behind the, like, mom or whatever, that was terrifying. And I loved it. Sorry. Got a little naughty there. Let's get back to it.
Story. Plus, Don't Breathe and Barbarian were mostly shot elsewhere. Again, I love all three of these movies, and for the most part, I think they handle the city's condition
homeless guy
more or
must
less
know.
okay.
Hold on. We'll be right back. And we're back. Let's go.
Barbarian wins points for this scene with Frank's neighbor Doug, played by comedian Kurt Braunohler. He says he's leaving.
It is so strange seeing the grass so short.
Neighborhood's going to hell, Frank.
This would be the tail end of the so-called white flight that really took off after the 1967 Detroit riot. By including this scene, Barbarian is showing how that practice led to these conditions. It emptied out the city and took away its tax base, giving Frank's evil a place to fester. It's at least saying something.
Okay.
But still, I would love a Detroit-set horror movie that doesn't only focus on its worst parts. There are plenty of cool and perfectly safe places.
Ambassador Bridge?
Let's start seeing those.
Huh.
Come on. Back in the present, Tess tries to catch AJ up on their situation.
This is very, very important. You need to stay calm. You cannot freak out around her.
Their captor, called the Mother, returns with mandatory mama milk. Tess takes her medicine, but AJ
Oh,
can't
no.
stomach it. Probably all those hairs on the nipple. So Mother hops
At least
down and
clean
drags
it.
him into a new kind of hell. He's gonna get some extra coddling.
Oh,
For
no.
his own good. The Mother's imposing stature comes courtesy of 6'8" actor Matthew Patrick Davis, who's actually
Oh,
quite
okay.
the handsome fella and really nice.
At the end of these scenes where he's like, he goes, "Sir, are you okay? Sorry. How you doing?"
Davis chemically shaved
He's
his
too
whole body
kind.
for the role, save for his eyebrows, which he refused to get rid of. It initially took 5 hours to apply all the Mother prosthetics to him, but the makeup team got it down to 2 by the end of production. They consisted
Jeez.
of face, boobs, and crotch pieces. They had a fake butt at first too, but it looked kinda dumb, so Davis had to film with his actual bare ass out.
It was weird walking around naked, but I got used to it, and it was strange.
We all got used to it.
The makeup and performance are good, but man, I am so tired of tall naked ladies as horror monsters. It's gotten
Yeah,
out of
those
hand
were
at
too
this
many.
point. AJ is taken to the diaper room, and in a nauseating scene, forcibly breastfed by the mother.
Oh.
It could have been worse, too. In a deleted scene, the mother kills a rat and baby birds it into AJ's mouth.
Oh god!
Tess takes
I'm
the
so glad they
opportunity
didn't
to
use
escape
that.
her oubliette, but she runs into AJ's tape measure on the way out, alerting the mother. The basement door is locked again, so Tess busts her way out through the basement window. She
I'd
narrowly
crawl.
escapes her helicopter mom with the help of Andre, that homeless man who chased her into the house earlier. As you might have guessed, Andre was actually trying to warn her about the
Oh,
mother.
jeez.
Probably would have worked better if he hadn't run towards her screaming "little girl."
Hey, little girl! Hey, little girl!
You can't trust guys who say that.
Little girl.
It
No
even
doubt.
makes the Beatles sound threatening.
You better run for your life if you can, little girl.
Tess wants to go back inside
Nope.
to save AJ, but Andre tells her to get safe before nightfall, since Mother leaves the house to hunt in the after hours. With Mother distracted, AJ manages to sneak further into the tunnel system. He discovers a nasty man cave, as well as a
Ew.
nasty man. It's Frank, all old and musty now. just
He's
Grandpa
alive?
Joeing it up in the corner. AJ initially tries to help him, giving Frank the benefit of the doubt that this old dude living down here is somehow on the up and up. But then he finds Frank's private collection of videotapes.
Oh
Man,
no.
these labels are sick. One of them is Won't Stop Crying. Dear God. AJ witnesses the tape's monstrous contents, which we the audience are thankfully spared.
What is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you?
Rather than answering, Frank pulls out a gun and avoids any accountability.
Oh good,
for
he
his
kills
actions.
himself.
Yeah.
Thank
After that,
you, Frank.
Might as well arm yourself there, AJ.
Yeah, take
As we
that gun,
discussed
take
in
that
our
gun.
podcast episode on this movie, the three male characters represent different forms of sexism. Keith, on a high horse of chivalry, is the most well-meaning and least dangerous. AJ sees himself
Easily
as a good
killed,
guy,
though.
but in actuality is a fratty date rapist. And Frank is the most extreme, a monstrous kidnapper and violent rapist, the exact kind of person Keith and AJ say they aren't.
What? What? Do I look like some kind of monster?
I wasn't like, come here, bitch, I'm gonna rape you.
But Tess has
Oh,
no idea
God.
where each of these guys falls on the spectrum, so she has to play it cautiously. At this point, she probably blames that caution for Keith's death, making her determined to save a guy she doesn't know, who is everything she was worried Keith would be. Tess flags down a couple of horror movie cops, who assume from her appearance that she's on drugs.
Ma'am, there's no one in this building, no one's being murdered, and the only crime that I've seen so far is you breaking this window.
Just more dudes.
She's not
listening
hot.
at this point.
Oh my god,
They leave
you
her,
fucking
so Tess
idiot.
breaks another window to get
I'm
a key
sorry,
back.
I'm
But
sorry.
Since it's dark now, the mother's roaming range has increased. Tess pins the mother against the house, and after some screaming
That is terrifying. Night falls, and it just immediately busts out the front door.
and pounding, it appears to put her down for good. Tess goes back inside
no,
and into
no,
the basement
no.
to save AJ.
Crush
He's
the
been
head.
walking around with frayed nerves and a gun.
Hello.
What?
Oh
Yo,
shit.
What the fuck, dude? Come on, AJ. Have a little trigger discipline. What are you, that kid from Halloween 2018? Don't shoot.
Apparently.
Thank God this isn't an awful ending and Tess is still alive. But things ain't great since the mother's at large again. So the two head out to find Andre in hopes that he can help.
Get in
Andre
the
brings
car!
them to his water tower hideout where he explains that the mother is a result of Frankie's 80s escapades.
He used to bring women down there, and then he started making babies with them, and babies with the babies. And you make a copy of a copy of a copy, and you end up with something like that.
Hearing about the worst man imaginable gives
Oh, God.
AJ the chance to reflect on his own actions.
I might be a bad person. Or maybe I'm a good person who just did a bad thing.
Honestly, his initial assessment here is a necessary first step to making amends.
I can't change what I've done.
But you can change who you'll be.
Maybe you can teach a guy who was an old dog's new tricks. Kreger originally wanted Zac Efron to play AJ, envisioning the character as a dim-witted beefcake. Efron turned the part
I can
down.
see that.
Kreger reworked the character for Justin Long, who he thought worked out better since he's usually known for playing nice guys.
Justin Long is such a warm and a disarming and a charming, like lovable presence on screen.
He isn't
And
too bad.
That is so
I'll
much
agree with you
more
on that.
engaging to me. To have someone with that sort of palette playing a vile character, that's interesting.
Long does a great job
He's
adding
pretty
layers
good.
of humanity to this shitty shallot of a man. Andre says they should be safe as long as they stay here until morning.
I've been living in this place more than 15 years, and she ain't never came in this motherfucker.
And
Oh,
does
shit.
he
Mother
goes.
jacks him up, then jaxes him up, ripping his arm off
Oh!
and beating him to death with it. Eat your heart out, Goro. AJ immediately
Oh, hold on, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back. Let's finish this.
abandons Tess, showing he hasn't changed his self-serving ways. The two make it up the water tower, which was actually filmed on a set, and instead of using a digital background, they hung up black fabric and poked holes in it for lights to shine through to simulate a
Oh.
distant city. I thought that was pretty cool.
That
AJ
is
earns
clever.
his place in the idiocracy by fumbling his firearm. With no
Dumbass!
way left to run, he decides to save his own skin once and for all.
I can get away. But you're gonna have to slow her down.
This motherfucker would rather live free than die hard, and throws Tess off of the tower. Instead of attacking him, the mother Olympic dives off the side after her. AJ retrieves
Oh,
his gun
jeez.
and checks their bodies. Somehow, the mother has wound up beneath Tess, presumably to cushion her fall. But,
Shoot the head.
not sure how
Shoot the
that
head.
would have worked with, like, science, you know? When AJ sees that Tess is still alive, he makes like an HR department and tries to cover his ass.
I didn't even let go. You started to slip.
The guy dodges accountability better than he dodges wrenches. The mother's still alive too, though, and she don't approve of gaslighting. She grabs him by the throat.
That's why I said shoot the. Oh my god, am I the only one that would be if you saw the monsters down on the ground? Are you not double tapping the skull?
and makes like Mother Mountain by turning AJ's eyeballs into banana mush. Oh, and then she banana splits his head in half. Fuck yeah! The mother tries to put an end to her baby's day out, but Tess is in no state for a piggyback ride home. She grabs the gun and has a brief moment of sympathy for her cave-dwelling captor. But she ain't going back to that basement, so she makes like of mice and mother and shoots this Frankenstein.
Thank you.
The movie ends with Tess walking through the end credits as the Ronettes' Be My Baby plays. Tess will politely decline. How many people met their end at the hands of a smother mother? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Oh, what are we doing? Is this for 10? Okay. Ooh. Hey. Ah!
Okay, that was pretty good, James.
5 people died in Barbarian. The victims consisted of 4 men and
Okay,
1...
hold on. I'm gonna move myself up here, and y'all take a look at that. Look at what James did. You didn't need to do this, James! That doesn't need to be on screen! So...
woman giving us this Blueberryan pie chart. This count and gender breakdown has been seen 5 times before on this show. Ooh,
cool.
Including demonic toys. That's a good one.
Oh,
with
that is a
runtime
good
of
one.
102 minutes, Barbarian left us with a kill on average every 20.4 minutes. I'll give the golden
Not bad.
chainsaw for coolest kill to AJ. You spend the whole movie rooting for this guy's comeuppance, and boy does that uppance sure come. Dual machete for lamest kill will go to Frank, who took the easy way out of a mess he created. And that's it. Barbarian was released in
Bastard.
2022 to well-earned critical acclaim. I can't wait to see what Kreger does next. Next week is a big one, because we're covering Saw X, or Saw 10, whatever you want to call it. Until then,
it is the 10th Saw.
This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count.
Well, folks, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.